Hi, what's up, guys? Amigo Reels is here. Today I'm going to explain a horror thriller movie called Bait. Spoilers ahead, watch out, and take care. At the beginning of the movie, we see an Australian beach where a lifeguard named George is sleeping in the car. Then his friend named Rary came, woke him up, and told him that he didn't propose to his sister Tina at the engagement party. That is why she was waiting for him at the beach. After this, George went to Tina and started talking to her. They both loved each other so much. Meanwhile, Rary went to check the beach. Then we see that a white shark is following him. At the same time, another man was also swimming there. Then a white shark appeared and ate him. When seeing this, the lifeguard ordered all of them to get out of the water. But Rary, along with his board, got too far. That's why George took his jet ski to save him. But before he could reach, White Shark attacked Rary's board. Now, George also arrived there and tried to get Rary out by holding his hand, but White Shark appeared there and ate him. George was distraught after losing his friend. After this, the scene shifted to 1 year later, where we see that George was living alone as Tina returned to Singapore. And even today, George considers himself responsible for Rary's death. That's why he always kept thinking about him, and he stays upset. George got to know from the news that a cluster of white sharks is about to come towards the beach this time. That is why everyone was instructed to stay alert. George had left the lifeguard job and was now working in the supermarket. Today, when George was heading up towards his job, the weather seemed weird to him as the dog outside his house looked very disturbed, and many birds were coming from the seaside. This scenery depicted that a great calamity is about to happen today. Then George headed towards the grocery store where we could see a girl named Jenny stealing some stuff from the store. A security guard watched her, but Jenny escaped from him and went to her boyfriend Ryan, who used to work in the same store. Meanwhile, the store's manager appeared there and fired Ryan after watching him with that girl. Afterward, he called a police officer to send Jenny to jail. When George was working in the store, Tina came with her new boyfriend Steven. George got shocked on finding Tina with a new guy and went to the washroom to get fresh, as he still loved her. There, a police officer, Toud, who came to catch Jenny, was Jenny's father. That is why he saved Jenny from going to jail. Actually, due to the job, Toud wasn't able to spend enough time with his family, which is why Jenny feels like Toud doesn't love her. When Toud was making Jenny sit in the car, he saw a person going inside the store along with the gun. While watching this, Toud started following him. After this, a person named Dial wore a mask and went inside the manager's office. He asked for all the money in the locker at gunpoint, but the manager showed him no money there. Upon this, Dial threatened him. Then the manager started taking him to another place. Then Toud saw him and gun-pointed Dial. But then Dial's main partner also came there and gun-pointed the manager's assistant, Julie. After this, he asked Toud to drop the gun. On the other hand, Ryan went to Jenny and took her out of the car. Ryan got angry at her as he lost his job due to her. That is why Jenny went to the store and Ryan went to sit in his car. We also saw a guy named Kale who came there to make out with his girlfriend Hader. On the other side, when George was in the washroom, we heard the noise of a gunshot. That's why he came out, where we see that Dial's partner has shot Julie. Then Dial gets angry at his partner because he doesn't want to harm anyone. After this, Dial's partner pointed the gun at Tina. George got tensed at this. All the people were extremely terrified by this scenario. In this stance, the entire store starts shaking. This terrifies them even more. Then we see outside where a great tsunami has arrived. With this, water starts filling all the buildings and stores. There was destruction all around, due to which many people died inside the store. But George, Dial, Police Officer Toud, and Steven were safe up until now. After this, George brought all of them on the shelving units. Here, George got to know that Toud's feet were injured badly. After some time, Jenny came out of the water and was happy to see Toud alive. Meanwhile, she remembered Ryan, who sat in his car before the tsunami. Jenny was about to save his life, but Dial stopped her because outside, there was chances of even more water. Meanwhile, the manager, Toud's assistant, Bob, and Tina also came out of the water. George went to Tina and brought her up where Tina saw that something was eating a dead body. After this, Naomi also came there and Dial pulled her up, but Dial's partner was killed in this accident. On the other hand, Kale and his girlfriend Hader were stuck in the car. Both of them were shouting for help. When Ryan got conscious, he broke the car's window to get out. He felt that someone was holding his foot during this, but he saw no one there. He got too tensed at this. On the other hand, George pulled out the piece inside Toud's foot and wrapped cloth there. Now all of them start finding a way to get out of there, but Toud couldn't swim due to his injury. So Tina, Steven, and Bob went from there to seek help for getting out. Tina and Steven headed towards the main output, and Bob went towards the warehouse. Meanwhile, Naomi saw a big thing floating in the water. Watching all this, George asked everyone to come up. Tina and Steven saw that the door of the main output was blocked. That's why they came up rapidly, but White Shark caught Bob. Jenny and Toad tried to save him, but the White Shark cut his body into pieces. Everyone got terrified by watching this. Afterward, they saw a great white shark there. After watching this, they understood that they were now entangled in a great problem. On the other side, Ryan saw dead bodies all around in the parking area. It seemed like somebody had eaten them. Now, Kale also gets out of his car from its upper part. Also, Hader saw a great white shark there who started attacking their car. On the other hand, George and other people were entrapped between the white sharks. Meanwhile, a high-voltage electric wire started hanging there. Touching this wire in the water could take all the lives. Now their tensions got doubled. George told them that its main supply is from the warehouse. After this, he headed to stop its main supply. But Tina stopped him as blood was oozing out of his body, so a white shark could attack him. Meanwhile, Steven got an idea. He covered himself in an armor of shopping cart so that White Shark couldn't attack him. When Steven and George were alone, Steven told him that Tina wasn't my girlfriend. She still loves you like before and knows that you aren't responsible for Rory's death. Tina got emotional on seeing Steven setting his life at stake. After this, Steven headed towards the warehouse with an oxygen tube. He was about to reach the warehouse, but the oxygen tube wasn't long enough. Steve got worried about this. Meanwhile, Steven, for saving his life, decided to sacrifice himself. He removed the oxygen tube and switched off the main switch. But as he had the weights tied to his feet, he couldn't come out of the water and died after several attempts. After watching this, Tina cried bitterly. Here, Dial decided that he couldn't do robbery again. There, Ryan, for helping Kale and Hader, cut the hand of a dead body and tried to distract the white shark. After this, Kale and Hader came out of their car to reach another car. On the other hand, George saw a ventilator box, so he planned to go out from there. Dial helped George to hang the rope there, but the manager was very selfish. He said that, I would get out of there first. Dial and George agreed with him. He tried to get out from there. So, many crabs appeared there, due to which the manager got very scared and started shouting. While listening to his voice, White Shark came there and cut his body from the mid. After seeing this, everyone got in worse condition. Now they got to know that the idea of going out from there is in vain. On the other hand, we see Hader, who was upset with Kaylee, left the dog in the car. Now Ryan wanted to reach Kaylee, but he didn't find any way. He decided to reach them by hanging through the pipe. He was about to reach them by pipe. Meanwhile, he left his hand and was dropped in the water. Before White Shark could attack him, Kale got him up. But during this, he fell into the water. Ryan and Hader were trying to help him, but White Shark cut him into pieces. Then, in the supermarket, Dial planned to get out by entrapping White Shark in the hook. But for this, he needed a meat hook. Now, Jenny somehow managed to escape from the White Shark and reach the butcher section. After this, she hooked rope and a piece of meat, and Dial saved her from White Shark. Tina came to George and made him understand that you should forget what happened because you're not responsible for what happened. On this, George said, at that day, it was my duty to check the beach, but Riori went there instead of me, and everything was ended before I could reach. Tina said to him that, I will always stay with you. After this, they will entangle meat in the hook and set it in the water, but the White Shark didn't eat it. Then, a man named Curvy said that it needs only fresh meat. After that, he took Naomi to gunpoint, as he wanted to use Naomi as a lump of meat for White Shark. At this, Dial said that you are making a huge mistake, but he didn't listen to anyone and hooked Naomi and made her fall in the water. White Shark started heading towards her quickly. Meanwhile, Dial injured Curvy through his gun. After getting Naomi out of the water, he hooked Curvy and made him fall in the water. After this, White Shark cut him into pieces and ate him. After this, the hook got stuck into her mouth. This prevailed a ray of hope in everyone to get out of here. On the other side, Hader told Ryan that nobody would come to save us. Then Ryan told her, maybe everyone is stuck like us. Then Hader's dog Bully came there. Then Ryan hit the pipe to give the signal of help. After hearing this, Jenny understood that this was Ryan, so she went to save him. Toad sends George behind her to help her. After this, George and Jenny went to the car parking. Then White Shark started coming towards them. They both climbed on Toad's car. Then Jenny told George that there was a gun in the car. After this, George somehow managed to save himself from White Shark and get the gun out of the car and go into the water to kill it. When White Shark came towards George, he shot him. So White Shark was dead this way. While other people tried to find a way to get out of the store, the entrance was blocked by a truck. So Dial planned to blast the truck. Now George and Jenny came there along with Ryan. Meanwhile, the shark that was entrapped in the hook got aggressive and set itself free. On this, George asked everyone to get out of the water. As Dial was about to give electricity to the truck's battery, George was about to shoot White Shark with the gun, but there was no bullet in the gun. Then George attacked the White Shark by Stager. White Shark got high-voltage electric shock, and it was killed. After this, Dial blasted the truck via a power supply. Now the entrance was opened, and everyone came out. Now they see that the whole city was destroyed due to the tsunami. Tina asked, "What will we do now?" On this, George said that we will start a new life now. And at the end, we see that when a bird is about to fly near a sea, a white shark eats it, and the movie ends here. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more. Also, have an amazing rest of the day. We will see you in the next one.